Ski Television is sponsored by Bollé, the life since 1888. And by Head, the power of you.
Back on Ski Television and joined by Brian Stemmle in the studio for another Alpine Report. And Brian, we've got lots to talk about this week. Let's start off talking about an historic win for Canada, the first since 1971. Erin Mielzynski wins a slalom race. It's shocking.
It was shocking. I looked at some pictures from the Ski Museum from when Betsy Clifford won in 1971, and it is a lifetime ago. And for Erin Mielzynski, it's double a lifetime ago. She's only 21 years old, but they were skiing bamboo back then and just hats, no helmets. It's pretty unbelievable to see.
Erin Mielzynski is part of that group of young Canadian women that we've been talking about. We're starting to see things like, I think, the Pontiac GMC Cup program, which ran for so many years, starting to really bear fruit. And these ladies are all technical skiers and all hitting their stride. Marie-Michelle Gagnon, unfortunately, finishes in 5th place, so she's completely overshadowed by Mielzynski. But it's great to see that we're finally getting to the point where we can anticipate podiums in technical events.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been incredible. They have such a strong team and a really happy team. I talked to them earlier, and they said, we're like a big family. We enjoy each other's company, and we know that if Marie-Michelle is very good, I'm going to be good too, because I train with her all the time, and I know that I can be close. It's just a matter of getting there on race day, and Erin proved it. She was 5th. After the first run, I didn't know if she was going to be able to calm her nerves down, but skied beautifully on the second run, just managed her way down no problem, and she was more surprised than anybody, I think.
Mielzynski is a very talented athlete. She's been a national champion, I believe, in water skiing. And Mark Christophic, former executive director of Alpine Ontario, was around when she was coming up through the Ontario team, and he always felt that if there was any woman in Canada who had the potential to be a Lindsey Vonn in the future, that Mielzynski was it. Can you see that?
I really think so, because I know her parents, Andy and Heather, and Heather was a great competitive water skier back in my day. I skied with her a little bit down the slalom course in the summer, and she's a great athlete. Andy worked his kids really hard, both Jenna and Erin, and not so much like a Richard Williams with Venus and Serena or Marcel Hirscher's dad, but would offer them different things if they took one more run down the slalom course in the summer, like a trip to Wonderland, which is a big amusement park just north of Toronto. But so he pushed them, but encouraged them. And you have to give a big shout out to their parents, because those are people who drive them to all the venues and teach them the skills and the life skills that you need to be a winner.
Okay, let's move on to another subject, and this is the subject of an increasingly popular event format in World Cup skiing that they call city events. Recently in Moscow, this dual slalom competition, 16 women, 16 men invited to come to Moscow, $100,000 purse for each, and they spend some 5 million euros to put the whole thing together. It's a short format race, only a 180-meter long course on this ramp that's 55 meters high. It's an incredible structure to look at it. What do you think of this city format? Are they legitimate races?
Yeah, well, they're trying to make them legitimate. It's kind of horse manure, I'd say, because they offer the 16 best in the world 15 World Cup points plus $10,000 just to show up. And it's not really fair to everybody else, because all of a sudden Didier Couche, who doesn't ski in the slalom events, who may lose the overall by 1 point, is not allowed to go because he doesn't want to. So I don't like the way they do it. I think it's Mickey Mouse. I think it's cool, the idea of the whole thing, and bringing skiing to a big city like they did in Munich. And there's been talk about that with the Canadian ski team, bringing it to Quebec City, because Quebec City loves that Red Bull concept, crashed ice. And it's a great event. It brings a lot of people. They've talked about doing it there in Montreal, but they'd rather see a slalom event maybe out at COP in Calgary.
All right, so maybe more to come in the format of city events, and maybe right here in Canada. But that wraps up the Alpine Report for this week. Thanks for joining me, Brian, and thanks for joining us here on Ski Television. FIS World Cup freestyle skiing still to come. For Brian Stemmle, I'm Chris Robinson, and we'll see you soon.